Police identify 6 persons of interest in the killing of Congressman Rodrigo Batocabe. Malacanang calls the 50 years of rebellion of the Communist Party of the Philippines as a failure.
Palagi ho tayong maghanda para kung magkaroon man po ng pagbaha at yung landslide tayo ay nakahanda.
And the NDRRMC warns of Tropical Depression Usman's possible effects to more than 2,000 villages in the country. Good evening. Police investigators have identified 6 persons of interest in the killing of Ako-Bicol Partylist Representative Rodrigo Batocabe. However, police have yet to ascertain if the killing was orchestrated by Batocabe's political rival as claimed by his kin. Here's why from my Bermudez.
The Philippine National Police confirms that they already have identified 6 persons of interest in the murder of Ako-Bicol Partylist Representative Rodrigo Batocabe and his police aide SPO2 Orlando Diaz.
Yes, yung iba alias, cannot divulge it yet. Hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin po ng grupo yan.
PNP Chief Director General Oscar Albayalde told members of the press after a case conference held at Camp Simeon Ola in Legazpi City that the PNP is still not discounting the possible role of the New People's Army in the crime, as well as the idea that the killing was politically motivated. Though the lawmakers can acknowledge that they are going against the political power, PNP cannot ascertain if Batocabe's rival in local politics has something to do with the killing.
Alam mo naman pag politika, you always point to the opponent. Palaging ganon, di ba? So, sabi ko nga, we in the PNP, we cannot speculate. No, hindi tayo pwede mag-speculate because we cannot link this person yet because of lack of substantial evidence.
The PNP has opened 3 communication lines for whosoever could provide information on the incident. Witnesses and informants may use these numbers to report to authorities their knowledge on the crime. But despite the reward money that already reached 32 million pesos, Albayalde admits that it remains a challenge for the PNP to assemble the puzzle as witnesses are afraid to come out and testify.
So far, wala pa nga. Sana nga makatulong, no? What we were able to establish, no? Itong mga assailants nanggaling sa likod. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga to nanggaling din dun sa crowd. So, there's a big possibility na yung mga tao dun sa crowd na yon ay kilala itong mga assailants na to and yet walang gustong magsalita.
As of this time, the PNP already collected testimonies from 6 individuals who happened to be survivors from the incident. However, their testimonies are still not enough to establish a suspect, according to Police Chief Superintendent Arnel Escobar.
Yung 6 kasi, nasugatan kasi yun. So, yun ang una naming kinuha ng statement. Baka may makuha kami na information tungkol sa pangyayari. Kaya lang parang so far wala naman kaming nakuhang informasyon na maaring makatulong sa akin.
My Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Legazpi, Albay.
The kin of a policeman who died with Congressman Rodrigo Batocabe is appealing to President Rodrigo Duterte to help them attain justice for the death of SPO2 Orlando Diaz. They also questioned the Philippine National Police on its decision to assign Diaz as Batocabe's police aide without a backup. Victor Cosare tells us why.
The wife of slain senior police officer to Orlando Diaz is still in disbelief over the fate of her husband. Diaz, the police escort of Ako-Bicol Partylist Representative Rodrigo Batocabe, was also killed in a shooting incident during a gift-giving event in Daraga Albay last Saturday. Jovi says she is having difficulty in accepting the reality that her husband is dead and will no longer be able to make good on his promise to take them to Manila and Baguio City for a vacation this holiday season.
Di ko alam kung kailan pa yung namin mararamdaman yung Pasko. Kasi wala na. Kinuha na sa amin.
The family is appealing to President Rodrigo Duterte to help them bring the perpetrators to justice.
Sana po mahanap na yung pumatay. Kung sino man yung tagawa niyan, sana makonsensya siya.
They also questioned the decision of the Philippine National Police to assign Diaz as Batocabe's security detail without sending a backup.
Feeling ko, may lapses na nangyari kasi 'di ba protocol sa PNP yung magbabadi-badi. Nasaan yung kabady niya?
In response, PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde explained that Diaz was supposed to be accompanied by 2 other police officers but got delayed over document processing. Albayalde was in Albay to visit the wake of Diaz earlier.
Depende rin kasi sa tagal yan kasi merong nga validation sa DID niyan, no? Dapo na magka-request yan, lalong-lalo kung hindi dumaan ng sa akin, hindi diretso sa akin yung letter. Dadaan talaga yan sa proseso.
The PNP chief also conferred the PNP Heroism Medal to Diaz. This is given to PNP members who have shown heroism without involving actual conflict with an armed enemy. Albayalde also extended financial assistance to Diaz's family. The remains of SPO2 Diaz will be buried on January 4, 2019. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Philippine National Police assures that there will be no whitewash in the probe into the killing of Ako-Bicol Partylist Representative Rodrigo Batocabe. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says the National Bureau of Investigation and the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group have started conducting parallel probes into the case. Investigators earlier said they are looking at politics and the possible involvement of the communist rebels in the killing of the lawmaker in Daraga, Albay last weekend. Batocabe was planning to run as mayor of Daraga in the 2019 midterm elections before he was killed. Police have been eyeing at least 6 persons of interest in the killing of the congressman. Sympathies from colleagues, friends, and supporters of slain Ako-Bicol Representative Rodrigo Batocabe continues to pour. The wife of the late congressman expresses gratitude on President Duterte's visit to the lawmaker's wake this evening. John Nano tells us why.
To personally relay his condolences to the bereaved family of slain Ako-Bicol Partylist Representative Rodrigo Batocabe, President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to visit the wake of the late congressman this evening. But according to Malacanang, the visit will be private and no media coverage is allowed. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, the Presidential Security Group asked the media to leave Dr. Ricardo Arcilla Hall, where the body of late Congressman Batocabe lies in state. The wife of Congressman Batocabe is grateful that the President condoles with them on the death of her husband.
If no less than the President can help us eradicate all this, if we can clean this small town, one small at a time, whoever can help, gladly welcome.
Malacanang earlier assured to provide justice on the killing of Congressman Batocabe. Apart from House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, other politicians such as Quezon City 6th District Representative Kit Belmonte and Vice Mayor Joy Belmonte visited the wake. Aambis Owa and Deputy Speaker Congresswoman Sharon Garin, together with other Partylist representative and former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, is also in grief for the sudden death of her colleague.
We are all grieving and we are all, hindi lang nga shock outrage po kami, galit po kami na bakit po nawalan po kami ng napakagaling na leader sa aming and yung bayan na to, nawalan po sila ng possible good mayor.
Even some senior citizens also expressed their deep sorrow on the death of their beloved congressman who they said was very close to their hearts.
Importante kasi siya sa amin kasi marami siyang naitulong na sa amin sa Kilikaw. Malapit siya sa puso namin, lahat ng mga senior citizen natulungan niya.
Talaga pong napakalaking kawalan. Talaga po siguro mahal na mahal siya. Kasi marami po talaga not only siguro dito sa amin sa Daraga, sa Legazpi, kasi hanggang Bicol naman po ang niya, tinutulungan.
Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Daraga, Albay.
Meanwhile, Malacanang describes the 50 years of existence of the Communist Party of the Philippines as a failed rebellion. The Western Mindanao Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines says communist rebels have no right to celebrate their founding anniversary. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The loss of lives of many Filipinos as well as the destruction of many structures. These are the results of the 50 years of rebellion of the Communist Party of the Philippines, according to Malacanang. Today, the CPP celebrates its 50th year since it was founded. But for the government, the uprising led by CPP founder Maria Sison is a failed rebellion. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said in a statement that many Filipinos have died, especially the numerous young students who were killed in ambushes, skirmishes, battles, and in sickness in the hills, who could have served the country in conciliatory and productive means. Panelo also added that many NPA rebels have been surrendering and returning to the fold. Panelo also chided Sison for living in comfort and luxury outside the country while his comrades die for a lost cause. Malacanang said Sison should just surrender before his health gives up on him and insists there is honor in returning back to a democratic society and embracing the constitutional order. Meanwhile, the AFP Western Mindanao Command believes the CPP and its armed-wing New People's Army have no right to celebrate for they have done nothing good for the country. The rebel group also has no clear ideal of what they are fighting for since they have fought against all administrations.
50 taon ng katarantaduhan, 50 taon ng panluloko, 50 taon ng panggugulo sa buong Pilipinas at dito sa atin, sa area namin dito sa Western Mindanao Command. 50 taon din yung kanilang mga panggugulo at pasakit, hindi lang sa gobyerno, mas lalo na or mas mahigit sa ating mga kababayan.
The military is prepared against any attack that the rebel group is planning in celebrating their founding anniversary. The AFP also ensures these rebels will not be able to show violence during the holiday season. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
19 former communist rebels who were allegedly operating in the boundary of Agusan del Sur and Compostela Valley in Mindanao have surrendered to the government. The former rebels were members of the Guerrilla Front 3 and PBC-4 of the New People's Army, according to the 401st Infantry Brigade of the Philippine Army. They also handed over several grenades and high-powered firearms when they returned to the fold. The military says the former rebels decided to surrender due to hardships and alleged corruptions within the communist group. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council assures the government has prepared for the possible effects of Tropical Depression Usman in the country. NDRRMC spokesperson Edgar Posada says local government units have been advised to prepare food packs and mobilize teams to respond to those who will be affected by the storm. More than 1 billion pesos worth of resources have also been allotted. The tropical depression is likely to affect more than 2,500 villages in the country.
Yun ho ang ating papaalala, palagi ho tayong maghanda para kung magkaroon man po ng pagbaha at yung landslide tayo ay nakahanda.
Up next on Y News. The Department of Health warns that firecracker wounds can lead to tetanus infection and death if left untreated. Forbes releases list of top 10 richest Filipinos in 2018. And the top 8 wish coveries of Camp Junji Marcelo ready to advance to the next round of the Wish Covery Season 2, The Singer and the Song. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of Y News. More reasons behind the stories with Angelo Castro III and William Theo after this quick break. I'm Marina Villamor Camera. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up from Marina Villamor Camera left off. I'm Angelo Diego Castro III. And here are the headlines. The number of injuries related to the use of fireworks climbs to 24 in the last 4 days, according to DOH. A Filipino inventor introduces electric firecrackers that is named after President Rodrigo Duterte. And Forbes releases its list of top 10 richest Filipinos in 2018. The number of fireworks-related injuries has doubled in the last 4 days. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police inspects firecracker stalls for permits as prices soar in Divisoria, Manila. Rodrigo Usman tells us why.
The number of firework-related injuries has jumped to 24 from 13 since December 21, according to the Department of Health. The latest report of the DOH's firework-related injury surveillance report showed that from December 21 to December 25, 22 cases were related to fireworks use, while 2 cases were due to fireworks ingestion. The DOH expects this number to rise until December 31. The agency meanwhile assures that all its retained hospitals have been placed under Code White Alert and are ready to respond to emergency cases until January 4, 2019. Meanwhile, prices of firecrackers in Divisoria nowadays have spiked by 15% higher than the price last year.
Pero tumas ngayon kaysa dating na nakaraang taon. Mga 15% yung taas ng presyo ng paputok ngayon. Kumbaga sa mga ganito pong klase, tumaas siya ng mga 15 po.
The increase is due to low supply of firecrackers coming from main manufacturers in Bukawe, Bulacan. A vendor believes the increase in fees for sales permit is also a factor for firecracker price hike.
Matumal ngayon sir dahil laging rinirade yung Bukawe, doon kami kumukuha Matumal ngayon. Mataas yung kalakal ngayon. Dahil nga yung permit ngayon ay napakataas, times 2 na.
It can be recalled that the Philippine National Police did not issue new permits to new manufacturers, allowing only old producers with permits. Because of this, the Association of Accredited Manufacturer of Pyrotechnic and Fireworks has appealed to the police to intensify the monitoring of illegal firecrackers. In Divisoria, police are seen inspecting firecracker vendors to ask if they have permits. Police are also monitoring the spread of firecrackers and fireworks without safety standard stickers from the Department of Trade and Industry. As of this time, there are no recorded offenders or any untoward incident related to firecrackers in the commercial center. Divisoria firecracker and firework vendors, meanwhile, are hoping that they can earn their profits before 2018 ends, as they expect that firecrackers will be in demand. Rodrigo Usman, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A Filipino inventor invented an electric firecracker which he claimed to be safer than common firecrackers, and he named it for President Rodrigo Duterte. Grace Cassin tells us why.
The Department of Health records big number of firecracker-related injuries every year. Worse, some victims would need to be amputated. To prevent this from happening, Filipino inventor Francisco Pagayon, more commonly known as Kapopoy, invented an electric firecracker. This after President Rodrigo Duterte released Executive Order No. 28 in 2017 regulating the use of firecrackers in the country. The electric firecracker creates different sounds like real firecracker. Kapopoy also created different designs with names. One of his latest invention is an electric firecracker that looks like a cannon, which he called Digong.
Bakit po? Kasi gusto ni Digong, bombahin na talaga yung mga drug addict na yan.
Even though his invention is electrically operated, it still has to be lit to help it start to heat up. But some of Kapopoy's electric firecracker, like one that can be likened to a whistle bomb, which he named Mocha, do not need anymore to heat up. This firecracker that resembles a train is named Bato. It releases noise like a gunfire.
Oh, sir, nandiyan na kalaban.
This one is named Trump. And the one that does endless spinning is named Trililing. The price of these electric firecrackers ranges from 1,800 to 7,000 pesos.
Pumuputok po yan sa loob ng 45 seconds to 1 minute. And then afterwards, pagka ho na ipahinga natin at least 2 minuto hanggang 3 minuto, pwede po natin sindihan uli at muli po na mag-trigger at puputok po siyang muli.
These electric firecrackers do not leave behind a stench of smoke and can also be used as home decoration. According to Kapopoy, the Department of Science and Technology already saw and approved his creations. But for those who want to save, the Eco-Waste Coalition suggests to just use pots, pans, ladle, and toy trumpets. Eco-Waste Coalition Chemical Safety Campaigner Tony Dizon also advises parents to supervise their children while playing with toy trumpets.
May dulot ito na peligro katulad ng choking hazards, baka malulun yung pito. Ikalawa, masyadong matalim yung mga dulo ng mga edges ng mga torotot. Ito ay posible ring makasugat. Yung mga torotot ngayon, halimbawa, katulad nito, hindi man ito sinusubo, hinahawakan lang, pero ang dulot na tunog nito, baka magdulot ng pinsala naman sa pagkabingi.
Grace Cassin, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Department of Health is expecting more cases of firework-related injuries until the first week of next year. In line with this, the DOH advises merrymakers to immediately go to the nearest hospital and seek medical help once hurt by firecrackers. Here's why from Ako-Bicol.
The number of persons who got injured by fireworks has been rising as year-end festivities draw near. The Department of Health says they are expecting more cases of fireworks-related injuries until the first week of January 2019. In line with this, the DOH urges revelers to quickly seek medical treatment when hurt by fireworks, as any open wound such as burn or a cut injured by a firework is more prone to tetanus infection.
So basta tayo ay naputukan, kahit minor lang siya, nasunog tayo, kailangan talagang pupunta sa ospital kasi bibigyan ka ng anti-tetanus na injection. Kasama yung toxoid tsaka yung anti-tetanus serum.
Health Undersecretary Domingo says only a few patients survive tetanus infection, especially if the patient has not received the anti-tetanus vaccine. Suspected cases of tetanus infection can be determined if a cut or a wound is followed by stiffness of neck, jaw, and other muscles, often accompanied by a distorted expression, difficulty swallowing, irritability, and uncontrollable spasms of the jaw, commonly known as lockjaw. Domingo says it is better to act ahead before the symptoms of tetanus infection manifest.
Talagang nakakamatay po ang tetano, maninigas, di ba, naninag yung kanilang panga, hindi gumagalaw, tapos nagko-convulsion, at sa katagalan namamatay within a week siguro or a few days. So, gusto nating i-prevent yan.
In case of firework-related injuries, follow these 3 simple first aid tips. First, wash the injured part of the body with clean water. Second, wrap the wound using clean cloth and bring the victim to the hospital immediately. Third, and for big wounds, use alkaline soap to clean the wound. Do not apply toothpaste or anything to the wound or burn. Since December 21, the DOH has recorded a total of 24 fireworks-related injuries, still lower than the same period last year. Most of the victims are males aged 2 to 49 years old. Ako-Bicol, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
In this day and age, many people use the service of mobile banking. But still, many have reservations using it. Monokson will tell us why.
Mobile banking is a service offered by banks for their customer, wherein they can transact using their cell phone or mobile tablet. According to Visa Consumer Payment Attitude Study in 2017, 3 in 4 Filipinos have mobile banking apps installed on their phones. Based on the study, the reasons why many Filipinos use mobile banking are convenience, accessibility, and security. According to Miguel Cuneta, a blockchain tech expert and co-founder of SCI Ventures, the Philippines is now being left behind when it comes to mobile banking. He said, traditional banking will not be out of the scene, but the technology of mobile banking and payments will surely grow.
Nagiging mas sanay na yung mga tao gumamit ng phone nila para magbayad, magpadala ng pera, bumili, magbayad ng bills.
Compared to traditional banking, many are still afraid to use mobile banking.
natatakot pa yung mga tao kasi nga pwedeng mawala, pwedeng ma-hack, pwedeng may mga doubts yung mga tao about this. I think since pinag-uusapan natin pera, madali lang magpadala ng mga picture at ng mga message Pero pag pera na yung pinapadala mo, iba na yung usapan, di ba?
But the question is mobile banking safe to use? Victoria, who is an overseas Filipino worker in Italy, lost 150 euros or equivalent to 9,000 pesos. Based on the bank report, the account of Victoria was used to pay online purchases 6 times without her knowledge.
Nung nakita ko, puro siya online payment, which is hindi ko naman siya ginamit nung mayroong ditong date and time kung saan ginamit. Sabi ko, hindi ako yan na nag-online para mag-load ng link sa telepono.
She reported it to the police, and after a thorough investigation, the authorities were able to apprehend the perpetrator, who is also a Filipino whom she happened to know. The authorities found out that the culprit know the password and other details of her account.
Mas maganda kung may transaction kayo, direkta na sa bangko. Kaya nga lang siguro nagagamit na ganito dahil online order, ganun po. Pero siguro, by my experience, na-advise ko na hindi na siguro kung mag-order online, bili na lang po siguro kung saan po makakabili ng dapat nilang bilhin.
But according to Miguel Cuneta, mobile banking and mobile money is safe to use. Problems only arise sometimes due to neglect and misinformation.
Kadalasan yung mga ganong sitwasyon, kasalanan din ng may hawak. Kasi napabayaan, hindi tinibayan yung password nila, hindi nila minake sure na walang nakakakita ng code nila or yung pinagbibilihan nila mismo. Safe ba to?
Always be sure to use a reputable mobile banking app to avoid losing money in your bank account. According to Rosel Ray, a cybersecurity expert, there is a way to know if a website is legitimate to visit and transact with.
Normally, pag verify natin, meron dun sa taas nila HTTPS. Yung S na yon means secured yung site. Somehow, at saka yung lock, no? Medyo, pag nakita natin sa site yon, parang yung medyo kampante na tayo na secured itong site na ito kasi meron sila ay naka-attain ng certificate na HTTPS.
To those using mobile cash or mobile money, be careful not to divulge information such as the password of your cell phone. Don't download anything from the internet to avoid getting virus on your cell phone. And don't open email with unfamiliar sender.
Safety lang din dun sa mismong device nyo kasi kayo lang ang may hawak niyan Kayo yung nakaalam ng password niya, ng passcode. Ingatan nyo lang. Parang wallet natin, kung iiwan mo lang dyan yung wallet mo kung saan-saan, tas aalis ka. Pagbalik mo, wala na yun dun.
Miguel Cuneta also refuted what the public see on movies, where hacking money on the internet seemed to be very easy.
Hindi totoo yung napaparoon sa pelikula, na yung hacker, gaganunin lang, makukuha na yung pera mo. Kasi may mga ginagamit yung mga services na yan na tulad ng encryption.
Miguel said that even though the technology is expanding, this is not an excuse for the public to be complacent. It is better to be always careful. Experts believe that traditional banking will not be out of the scene, for it will only transfer to mobile phones, which is more convenient. But surely, long queues in bank will be gone, just like what happened to the postal system when email and text messaging entered the scene. Mon Hokson, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The popular American business magazine Forbes has released its top 10 richest people in the Philippines for 2018. Henry C. remains the richest, while Manny Villar, who ranked 10th last year, climbed high to the number 2 spot. John Gokongwei slipped to number 3 from number 2. George T. from number 9 from the 4th spot last year. Lucio Tan to number 7 from the 3rd rank, and Andrew Tan to number 10 from number 8. Enrique Razon Jr. and Tony Tan Kakyong maintained their spots at number 5 and 6 respectively. Meanwhile, new names such as Jaime Zobel de Ayala and Ramon Ang made it to Forbes' top 10 Filipino billionaires list for 2018. President Rodrigo Duterte's decision to nullify the amnesty that was granted to Senator Antonio Trillanes IV was one of the most controversial issues this year. The decisions issued by the anti-graft court on some high-profile cases also grabbed headlines in 2018. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte's to Senator Antonio Trillanes IV for his alleged non-application became controversial this year. The Department of Justice filed a petition before the Makati Regional Trial Court to revive the cases of rebellion and coup d'etat against the senator in relation to the 2007 Manila Pen Siege and 2003 Oakwood Mutiny. Antonio Trillanes Makati Regional Trial Court Branch 150 reopened the rebellion charges against Trillanes and ordered his arrest, though he was allowed to post bail. However, Makati RTC Branch 148 junked the DOJ's motion for arrest warrant on coup d'etat charges against the senator. Before the Makati Regional Trial Supreme Court has yet to decide on the petition of Trillanes questioning the constitutionality of Duterte's Proclamation 572. Meanwhile, the anti-graft court handed down a guilty verdict against former First Lady Imelda Marcos on 7 counts of graft for using her position during her husband's regime to create and maintain private organizations and banking accounts in Switzerland. The court has perpetually disqualified Marcos from holding public office but allowed her to post bail. While Marcos was declared guilty, the Sandigan Bayan acquitted former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. of plunder charges in relation to the pork barrel scam. Revilla was detained for more than 4 years due to these allegations. The court handed down guilty verdict against his co-accused Janet Lim Napoles and Richard Cambe. Former Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Juan Ponce Enrile also faced the same charges, but they were temporarily released on bail. Enrile, Revilla, and Estrada have filed their candidacy for senator in the upcoming 2019 midterm elections. Watch out for other big issues that made headlines this year in Repaso 2018, the year-end special of UNTV. Rosalie Coz, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The top 8 Wishcoveries from the National Capital Region of Wishcovery Season 2, The Singer and the Song, are now complete. Leslie Longboen tells us why.
Top 8 Wishcoveries of Camp Rani Raimundo last Monday, the next camp of Wishcovery Season 2 to have their final 8 was that of Junji Marcelo. Making it to the next round were Alessandra Galvez, who gave a fresh rendition of Panalangin.
At hindi papayag ang pusong ito, mawala ka sa aking piling, mahal ko iyong dinggin.
And Wishcovery Zyrelyn Salud, whose singing was described by Junji as well calculated.
Kahit sandali, pag-ibig mo sana'y maramdaman man lang.
Failing to advance to the next vocal battle was Melody Reyes.
Na hindi mo nadama itong pag-ibig kong handang ibigay kay pagkalayan mo.
But you had so much fun. I love the last part of your song. Dun ka na umusan. Parang when you hit, patas up to that point. Pero pagdating sa point na yon, nagbigay siya ng something on top of what you already gave.
Tonight is the turn of the last batch of Wishcoveries from Cebu to impress composer Wishcoverer Top Suzara. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News. DFA warns Filipinos in Libya to remain vigilant following a suicide bomb attack in Libyan Foreign Ministry. Japan plans to withdraw from the International Whaling Commission. And Moscow Metro puts iconic retro passenger signs on sale. And those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Theo. I'm Angelo Castro III. Good evening.